Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it's nice to meet all of you. The Bellandur sector, I get to meet you once a month or sometimes not so often, but it's nice to come back. So today we are going to see from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, chapter number 2. Just give me a little moment. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So we are going to start the second chapter of Ajamil. And this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is really very wonderful. You might have heard in the first chapter, we see that Ajamil, he was, this whole story itself, how it actually starts in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's very nice. We see that in the 5th canto, towards the ending, there is a description of the hellish planets. How the living entity, when the living entity performs some sinful activities, how actually he suffers through so much of hellish conditions. So then after hearing that, Parikshit Maharaj says that, being a very compassionate devotee, he says that such a horrible condition, how can a living entity escape from this kind of condition? So, what is the solution for this whole thing? So then Sukadeva Goswami tells about this whole thing about the holy name, the glories of the holy name, and how this Ajamil, he was so sinful and he was all set to go to the hellish conditions. So, but then just by chanting the names of the Lord, everything changed. The whole scene actually changed. That's a very amazing thing. That's the way in which this whole pastime actually starts. And then you would have heard so many details about the Ajamil's the previous ashram, and then after that how he degraded and stuffs like that. And now let's see the second chapter. It's a very, very amazing chapter. Ajamil, delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. We'll read a chapter summary. In this chapter, the messengers of Vaikuntha explain to the Yamadutas the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. The Vishnu Dutas said, now impious acts are being performed even in the assembly of devotees. For a person who is not punishable is going to be punished in the assembly of Yamaraj. The mass of people are helpless and must depend upon the government of their safety and security. But if the government takes advantage of this to harm the citizens, where will they go? We see perfectly that Ajamil should not be punished, although you are attempting to take him to Yamaraj for punishment. So now this is a very interesting thing. So we will see that more in depth when we go into the shloka also. So here we see that the messengers of Vaikuntha explained to the Yamadutas the glories of chanting the glories of the chanting of the names. Right. So here we see the condition is that Ajamil is quite sinful and his time of death has arrived. And already the Yamadutas have been dispatched from the Yamaloka. And when they're about to come, when they're about to drag the soul out of the body of Ajamil, so he took the names of the Lord, and with intensity and with so much of intensity, he took the names of the Lord. And now the Vishnu Dutas came. So now it is not that fault of Yamaraj. No, he dispatched for a wrong reason, but it is an intricate thing which these Yamadutas doesn't know. No, the Yamadutas are like order carriers, and they don't have much detailed or much deeper understanding of the scriptures, deeper understanding of the Dharma. So now the names of the Lord is being chanted, and Ajamil, his sins have been eradicated because of the intense chanting of the names. This is also very important. There is a nice shloka in Bhagavad Gita which talks about Esham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavata. So it is when we will get the dridavata, when we will get intense faith in the process of Krishna consciousness, when the sinful reactions actually gets eradicated. In fact, when all our sinful reactions get eradicated, we will become very solidly situated in Krishna consciousness, right? So Dridhavrata, so that solid determination actually arises at that point in time. So here, one thing that we can see that to eradicate the sins, there is to some level of sins, a very casual chanting can actually wipe it off. But if we want to become purified to a very deeper extent, we need intensity. And here, Ajamil chanted with intensity, and he could able to wipe off a good deal of sins. And then, here, Vishnu Dutas are arguing that this person is not supposed to be taken to the Yamaloka, and this anyaya is happening. This is injustice is happening. So, Yamaraj is the justice personified. He's also called as Dharmaraj. He is the person who is supposed to put dharma into place. And the Vishnu Dutas are telling, even the government, which is supposed to give the law and protection and security to the citizens, if they themselves punish an innocent citizen, where will the citizen go? So here, that's the argument that Vishnu Dutas are actually putting. So it's a very serious thing that it's an intricate thing that this intense chanting of the holy name destroys the sinful effects. That's a very important thing. And whenever we make this statement, we also should know there is another important statement which accompanies this. That is, if we plan to destroy our sins and commit the sins on the strength of the holy name, that becomes an offense to the holy name. When we commit offense to the holy name, then holy name will not produce its results. So then how to chant? So we have to chant for the sake of chanting. We should not chant for the sake of destroying our sins. We should chant for the sake of chanting, and we should chant for the sake of developing love and affection and attachment towards the Supreme Lord. Rati. It is mentioned, Dharma svanishtita pumsa vishvakshena katashaya no adpadaye dediratim shamaye vahi kevalam. So it is mentioned that we have to execute dharma sva anishtita. So one has to do one's own swadharma, and we have to anishtita, we have to do that. For what? And if we, after doing it, no utpadaya dediratim, no shramaye vahi kevalam, right? Dharma sva anishtita pumsha vishvakshena katashaya. So we have to develop the attraction towards the holy name of the Lord and the glories of the Lord. So if we don't develop an attraction towards the holy name and glories of the Lord, so then that means we have been doing something in the name of Dharma, but it is just Shramaya Vahi Kevalam. It is just simply waste of time. Nothing actually has happened over there, right? So the important thing, we have to do the chanting for the sake of chanting, or for the sake of developing our attraction and rati towards the Lord, attraction towards the Lord. And that is a primary reason for which we have to chant. And if we keep destroying sins as the reason for chanting, so then it is not going to be very fruitful. It's going to be a little bit effective. But then if we commit sin, thinking that I will chant some extra rounds and destroy this sin, that is a offense towards the holy name. Namno balad yashahi papa buddhi is one of the offenses, which is mentioned in Padma Puran. So namno balad, on the strength of the holy name, yashahi papa buddhi means I develop a papa buddhi. I do a sin thinking that I will destroy the sin by chanting. No, that is an offense to the chanting actually. So then the chanting will not work. Then we chant, we keep chanting, nothing will work. No, sins will not get destroyed. So if the chanting has to take effect, it has to be without offense. So now Ajamil did not know what is offense, how to avoid the offense and things like that. By accident, he chanted without offense. And because of that, he could get this result of destruction of huge amount of sins. That's an amazing result that actually he got. So, but then the Yamadutas are in a situation when they were dispatched to take Ajamil. So he was a sinful person. And by the time they came to arrest him, he became sinless person. So no, it is a confusion for them. They don't know this change, how this change has happened. And Vishnu Dutas are telling, because he chanted the name of Narayan with intensity, no, he becomes sinless now. No, leave him. And Yamadutas are arguing, no, we have been told to take him and come. We have to take him and come, take him and go. So both argument actually starts over there. This is the condition that is there at this point in time. Right? And then, so this is also a nice, this one, the first paragraph of every chapter summary in Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives a complete essence of the whole chapter. So then after that, from next paragraphs onwards, again, a little bit elaboration of the same subject is given. So now we saw that the precise or concise summary of the chapter in the first paragraph. Now it'll be elaborated further. So let's study this. So it was due to Ajamila's glorifying the holy name of the Supreme Lord that he was not punishable. The Vishnu Dutas explained this as follows. Simply by once chanting the holy name of Narayana, this Brahmana has become free from the reaction of sinful life. Indeed, he has been freed not only from the sins of this life, but from the sins of many, many thousands of other lives. He has already undergone true atonement for all his sinful actions. If one atones according to the directions of the Shastras, one does not actually become free from sinful reactions. But if one chants the holy name of the Lord, even a glimpse of such a chanting can immediately free one from all sins. Okay, this may bring in a lot of questions. So we see, let's go deeper into these aspects. So now we see that Ajamila, by glorifying the holy name of the Supreme Lord, he has become unpunishable. He has become sinless, right? And then simply by once chanting the holy name of Narayana, the Brahmana become freed from sinful reactions, not only of this life, of many, many thousands of lives. This is amazing, this one. It's a very amazing glory of the holy name that is actually coming out. And then he has already undergone true atonement for all sinful actions. So this is okay. Now this is agreeable. Okay, chanting the names, the glories of the name is happening. Now it's a very heavy statement. If one atones according to the directions of the Shastra, one does not actually become free from sinful reactions. This somebody may question, that means the scriptures have been cheating us? No, these scriptures are cheating business. Why the scriptures are talking about like this? And then what is that? It's an atonement that is prescribed for a sin. But you say that it is, it will not work. What it is. So let's try to understand this particular thing. The atonement for a particular sin is given in many, many different levels. So now we'll try to draw up some things and then understand this principle. It's a very, very important principle. Just a minute, I'll just open my whiteboard. I'll just share. Okay. So now, let's see this particular thing. So now we see that everything that exists belongs to Krishna, right? So everything that exists belongs to Krishna. Okay. And then, so if I ideally use everything in service of Krishna, so then there is no sin. So this is completely purified state of existence, full pure this is. And then the opposite side is, okay, everything belongs to Krishna, but I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy Krishna's property. So then what happens? So then there is a legal way, then there is an illegal way. So legal way is called pious. So I perform all the Vedic rituals and I perform like whatever is mentioned in the Shastra, and then I, I desire relief from my miseries, or I desire some better material enjoyment. That is called pious or punya. And then there is sin that is there. So this is called papa. That means I have this material objects. Why will I even have to go and consult the scriptures? I don't need to consult the scriptures. I'll just directly take whatever comes to my hand. I will enjoy. This world exists for my enjoyment. I will enjoy the way I want, right? So that is sin. And punya means, okay, I will perform this vrata, I will perform that vrata, and then I'll get this benefit and that benefit, and that is punya. So the atonement on the material platform is also mentioned. The atonement on the material platform, it will not destroy the miseries, or it will not destroy the sin completely. Why? Because still I want Krishna's property. No, that is the problem. That is why it is mentioned, the scriptures, the atonement that are mentioned in the scriptures, which are not pure devotional service. No, this is like pure devotional service means everything belongs to Krishna. Everything should be used in service of Krishna. Then the atonement works on the root problem. So the chanting of the names of the Lord works on the root problem. No, so then it becomes really very powerful. It just destroys all the sins without any trace of it. Like, no, just millions of lifetimes of sins have been destroyed. But if I take any material atonement, which is punya or papa, like then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes a problem. It doesn't have the capacity to destroy the sin, because actual sin is everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be used in service of Krishna, but I want to enjoy. So the actual sin, the root of the sin still remains in that atonement. And because of that, it cannot destroy all the sins because the root still exists. The root is everything belongs to Krishna, but still I want to enjoy. So when I keep this proposition and I try to do any circus, I cannot destroy all the sins. And this is not the problem of the Shastra. So this is the problem of my my material conditioning, right? So, but the chanting of the names of the Lord is very, very powerful. It's immensely powerful, right? So that is the secret. That's the secret of this. So it is mentioned, this 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam mentions an amazing shloka. Deva Rishi Bhuta Piranam Pitranam Nayam Kinkarana Rinicha Rajan Sarvatmanoya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihitya Gartum. So it mentions that Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Apta, Nrinam, Pitra, so many people, we have so many people, we have our debts towards. So we have, if we don't clear this debt, it becomes sin and then we suffer. And this, we can take in this connection that I have so many sins that I've committed, so many places I have to repay by the way of suffering. And there is so many atonements are also there, so we can actually put it in that context. And then Nayam Kinkarana Rinicha Rajan Sarvatmano Yash Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihirta Kartum. Once I surrender to Mukunda, once I surrender to Krishna, saying that I am yours, and everything that exists in this world and everything that I possess, everything is yours, and I want to engage myself completely in your service. So then from that point, all the sins become completely destroyed, because we have addressed the root problem. Everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be ideally used in service of Krishna. We have addressed that root problem. So then the sins also get destroyed from the root. But if you don't address this root problem, if I keep that, everything is Krishna's property, but still I want to enjoy his property without him, right? So then I'm maintaining the root problem and I'm trying to solve the externals of it, and the sins will not get destroyed fully. So this is not a problem of the Shastra. So this is a problem of the material conditioning. So that is why it is mentioned. If one atones according to the directions of the Shastra, one does not actually become free from sinful reactions. It's because the root problem is still there, right? So, but if one chants the holy name of the Lord, This belongs to a pure devotional service. Chants the holy name of the Lord. Even a glimpse of chanting can immediately free one from all sins. That's the power of chanting, actually. So chanting the glories of the Lord's holy name awakens all good fortune. Therefore, there is no doubt that Ajamila, being completely free from all sinful reaction, should not be punished by Yamaraj. So that, like, now we see that Vishnu Dutas are giving clear-cut definition. Why this person has become sinless. Okay, fine. When you are being dispatched, when you Yamadutas have been dispatched from Yamaloka, so this person was sinful, and now he is sinless, and why it is so. Vishnu Dutas are giving clear explanation for that. And then we see that as they were saying this, the Vishnu Dutas released Ajamil from the ropes of Yamadutas. So they are not just telling that you release. They just took their sword and they cut the Yamapasha. They just broke the ropes of Yamadutas, right? And left for their own abode. So they just cut this and then they left. And these Yamadutas were like completely baffled. Who are these personalities? Till now, nobody had ever dared to challenge our authority. Nobody could even stand in front of us. These people came, they just cut the ropes of Yamaraj, and then they just left. They are like completely baffled. Okay. So the Brahmana Ajamila, however, offered his respectful obeisances to the Vishnu Dutas. He could understand how fortunate he was to have chanted the holy name of Narayana at the end of his life. Indeed, he could realize the full significance of this good fortune. Having thoroughly understood the discussion between the Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas, he became a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He lamented very much for how very sinful he had been, and he condemned himself again and again. Finally, because of his association with the Vishnu Dutas, Ajamila, his original consciousness arose, gave up everything and went to Haridwar, where he engaged in devotional service without deviation, always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the Vishnu Dutas went there, seated him on a golden throne, and took him away to Vaikuntha Loka. So one may ask, before itself Vishnu Dutas came, why did they not take him at that point in time? And why they had to wait so much time? It's very important. They gave him a second chance. Srila Prabhupada has written, or a book is compiled of the teachings of Srila Prabhupada by the name Second Chance, which is based on this particular pastime of Ajamil. So it's a very nice topic, second chance. So he was given a second chance. He was about to be killed, he was about to die, and he was about to be dragged to Yamaloka. But then Vishnu Dutas gave an extension. Why? Because he was kacha in his devotional service. He needs to become more mature in the practice of devotional service. So when they did this thing, when they did save Ajamil, from the Yamaduta's clutches, so definitely they bestowed their mercy upon them, mercy upon the Ajamil, and they gave a protection. And after that, Ajamil was in safe protection, but he was still not eligible to go back to Godhead. He still had to practice. He still has to mature himself, to actually be able to come to the point of going back to Godhead. So since destruction, so there's one important thing. Destruction of sins is not sufficient. Destruction of sins just will take us to the platform of Brahman. We need to cross the platform of Brahman. We need to cross the platform of Paramatma. We need to get the appreciation for the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. We need to get the appreciation for the Supreme Lord himself. We have to be attracted to the Supreme Lord himself. So for that, destruction of sins is not sufficient. So at that point in time, when Vishnu Dutas cut the ropes of Yamadutas, so it is only that his sins were finished, and he got a direction to practice Krishna consciousness. So, but he was not still pakka. He was not still mature in the practice of Krishna consciousness. So that is something that was pending. For that, the second chance was given. Okay. In summary, although the sinful Ajamil meant to call his son the holy name of Lord Narayana, even though chanted in the preliminary stage, Namabasa was able to give him liberation. Therefore, one who chants the holy name of Lord with faith and devotion is certainly exalted. He is protected even in this material conditional life. So it's a very, very important thing. So, all of us are also chanting the names of the Lord. whether we will get, Ajamil was chanting the names of the Lord, not for the sake of chanting. No, he just called his son's name, who was named Narayana, and he called that name, and he got benefited. And I am sitting every day chanting 16 rounds for the sake of chanting. So will I not be benefited by that? So one caution, one condition that Ajamil could able to overcome is that he chanted without offense. So no, he didn't mean to chant to destroy the sinful actions, or he didn't mean in any way any of the offenses. There are 10 offenses are there. So he didn't mean any of them, or he didn't have any of them in his system. And when he chanted, that chanting, it is not called as Shuddhanam, it is not called as pure name, but it is called Namabasa. Now, Namabasa, one practical experience of Namabasa is that if you see the sky in the night, so when the moon is covered by the clouds, still there is a glow that comes, like penetrating the clouds. So that's kind of a Namabasa, which is where you're not able to get the clear picture of the moon, but there is a light that is actually coming. And another example of Namabasa is that when the sun arises, Arunodaya, like when the beginning, in the morning, early in the morning, when the sun arises, when the initial rays of the sun comes, that's an amazing thing. Everybody likes to see that scene. Complete darkness is there, and suddenly the light actually permeates everywhere. So that is called Namabas. So wherein Shuddhanam means it's like sun coming in the middle, where I'm able to see the sun globe very clearly, sun disk very clearly, and its brilliance, this heat and light and everything, it's complete brilliance of the sun I'm able to see. That is compared to the Shuddhanam, wherein I'll be able to see all the amazing aspects of the holy name. So that's called Shuddhanam. So, but then this Namabas is this one. No, Namabas is like the initial rays of the holy name, initial rays of the sun. So that's compared to it. So one very important thing, what's the capacity of this initial rays? Where the sun has not come out. So, but the initial rays of the sun, it can still dissipate the darkness. To wear away the darkness in the night, like already it is night. So we are seeing through the window, like we see that it's completely dark over here. So this darkness to go, I don't need sun. I just need the initial rays of the sun. That is sufficient. This darkness will go. And then, sometimes fog is there in the morning. That also, initial rays of the sun is sufficient. It doesn't require the sun to come in the midday sun, for dissipating the fog. The initial rays of the sun actually dissipates the fog and removes the ignorance. These two things are compared to the sinful reactions and liberation. The liberation is what? Bondage to the material nature. And bondage to the material nature is compared to the darkness, and then the sinful reactions is compared to the fog. Right? So these two things, the initial rays of the holy name, the Namabasa is sufficient. It doesn't require a Shuddhanam. It doesn't require complete glory of the holy name to arise. It just the initial rays is sufficient to destroy all the sins, and it's sufficient to remove remove a person from the material bondage. It can offer liberation to a person. That's the glory of the holy name, the Namabasa. So Namabasa means chanting without offenses, where we have not developed intense taste and attachment to the holy name, but we are chanting without offenses. Then it is so very powerful. It can actually destroy unlimited sins, and it can, we just saw, right? Like lifetimes of sins, thousands and thousands of lifetimes of sins. Everything can be washed off if we just can chant without offenses. That's a very amazing thing. So now, in this regard, there is a nice pastime that is there of Haridas Thakur. So you may have heard this many, many times. It is a very amazing pastime. So where Haridas Thakur was invited to an assembly of Govardhan and Hiranya Majumdar. So these two were very, Majumdar means like landlords, and they were very rich people. But then they had a lot of Shraddha, faith in the holy name and faith in the process of bhakti. So they had invited Haridas Thakur for association, and they gathered so many people. And then they invited Haridas Thakur for a nice discussion on the holy name. And Haridas Thakur walked into that assembly, and So then these people had started glorifying. Oh, Haridas, no, you are a great personality. You chant 192 rounds every day. You chant glories of the Lord all the time. You are so amazing, amazing a personality. No, so amazing. Like, we are very, very fortunate to get your association. So in that way, like, no, they actually, invite Haridas Thakur, glorify him and invite him into the assembly. And then they say that, oh, Haridas, like, no, the chanting of the names, no, you are constantly attached to. And this chanting can destroy all the sins, and this chanting can remove and can award liberation. So then Haridas Thakur immediately stopped. No, 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 this is not the benefit of chanting. This is the side benefit of chanting. Even Namabasa can give this particular benefit. The real glory of chanting is that it can give Krishna prem. It can give intense attachment to the Supreme Lord. That's the glory of the holy name. Now, this is side benefit what you are talking about. So immediately when this was spoken, there was one Brahmana by name Gopal. No, he couldn't able to tolerate this statement. And he was telling, like, no, many yogis and jnanis, they are like performing tapasya for many lifetimes to attain liberation. And you say this simply chanting, and that too one time chanting without offenses. No, all the sins will get destroyed and I'll get liberation. This is like bogus. No, you're not a sadhu. You're just like, simply hyping up things. And this is not shastric. No, like, I will cut your nose. No, whatever you have told is wrong. No, then I will cut your nose, like that. No, he challenges Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur says, like, if this is wrong, what I have told, no, you don't need to take the trouble to cut my nose. I myself will cut my nose. No, that's something that he mentions. So then, then this argument happens. And then, somehow these Majumdars, like, they had invited Haridas, and they wanted to have this nice sangha and assembly and things like that. So but then all this mess up happened in the whole assembly. So then all the mess up happened in the whole assembly. And then they immediately stopped all those things and then begged forgiveness. First is they dismissed this Brahmana from the service and then threw him out of the service. He was appointed in particular service in their this one. And then after that they came and begged forgiveness from Haridas Thakur. So we invited you in the assembly, and then somehow or other we couldn't able to give you proper respect, and this kind of insult has happened to you. So please forgive us. And then Haridas Thakur says, it is not the fault of this Brahmana. It is not the fault of it is not your fault. It is not his fault. What to do? He doesn't know much of things, and he is speaking in this way. So in that way, he just puts his condition. He just this is a nature of a devotee. He doesn't take any offense very seriously, and he's insulted in front of everybody, saying his nose will be cut and stuff like that. But still, he didn't took any offense, and he just moved on. So, but then this Gopal, his nose, he got leprosy, and his nose got melted off, and then he was in a very, very pathetic situation. So, because he offended a great devotee of the stature of Haridas, and he offended the holy name, and he didn't believe in the statements of the glories of the holy name, right? So this is the effect of offense towards the holy name, actually. So with this, I pause here. Any questions or comments on the subject matter that we had discussed? It's a very, very important subject matter. So we can have some question answers, and and then 8 o'clock we have our regular everyday Damodar Ashtakam program is happening. So we will join on to that link. Okay. So Shobha Mataji is asking, whatever happened to Ajamil was only effect of modes of material nature or reaction of some karma in earlier birth. Also, I felt that chanting will raise one to the spiritual platform, and still we need to be more devotional to be eligible to attain Krishna. Okay. So now the first part is whatever happened to Ajamil was only effect of modes of material nature or reaction of some karma in the earlier birth. So what do you mean by that? Do you say that Vishnu Dutta is coming into the scene, or he's taking the names of the Lord is due to past karma? Is that the question? You want to unmute yourself and say, you can also do that. I gave you the permission to unmute. You can. Okay, Ajamil falling down. Okay. So Ajamil falling down is, see, certain things are forced by the previous nature. Now, if I commit a mistake, now again, I'll just take help of the whiteboard a little bit. So there are two ways I can actually commit sin. So if we see that if I commit a sin, so this is a sin. And if I commit a sin, then what happens is that I get reactions. And then next, on the other side, I get the bija or seeds, or no other words, it is called desire. So this again contributes to commit more sins. So like once I commit a sin, then it puts a tendency for me to commit again and again, similar kind of sins. And then it will keep on giving me reactions. So now this is one way. Another way is that karanam guna sangosya sadasat yoni janmashu. So in Ajamil's case, he got the exposure to see some Shudra and Shudrani like very badly behaving and then committing illicit activities. That actually polluted his mind, right? So either the previous sin, so once it is polluted, so once he just saw that scene, he got affected by that, he started committing sin, he started getting reactions, and he started getting more and more bija, and he started doing more and more sins. It gets into a vicious cycle after that, right? So this is how it actually goes into. So initially, it doesn't necessarily that he had a bad karma to start with. To start with is our exposure, in the material nature, in the material world, right? So we have to be very careful with our exposure, where we are exposing ourselves. If we spoil the exposure, then it becomes very, very bad, right? So that's the reason. That was the reason. He had a bad exposure, and from there the vicious cycle actually started. So then also I felt chanting will raise one to the spiritual platform, and still we need to be more devotional. No, what do you mean by that? So Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. No, the Harinam Sankirtan, or the chanting of the names of the Lord, can take us to the topmost perfectional stage, the Krishna Prema. No, that is the topmost perfectional stage, and it can take us. And chanting is considered to be the topmost thing, even amongst the spiritual things, even in the spiritual world. Chanting of the names of the Lord, or the holy name of the Lord, is considered to be the greatest treasure. There's nothing in comparison to the holy name of the Lord. So that is why, if you see, in Kali Yuga, when things are so chaotic and so bad, this holy name is the only means. It is mentioned, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam, kalam nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. So in the Kali Yuga, no, like what is that, like low power medicines will work. Only high power medicine will work. And this holy name of the Lord is the most high power medicine that nobody can ever imagine the power of the holy name actually. So this holy name can take us to the ultimate perfection. What do you mean by attaining Krishna? Attaining Krishna means, like, if we understand the holy name perfectly, that's attaining Krishna. There's nothing more than that. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvam Nama Namina. There is no difference between Nama and Krishna, right? So there is, like, in that way, chanting is not just going to take us to the spiritual platform. Chanting is going to award us the complete perfection. It's like real sadhana. It's real sadhana. Nothing else is required for us. Okay. So the next question is it really possible to chant the holy name of Lord at the time of death after doing so many sins, as we always think that we should always think of him and attain him? Okay, so this is an amazing thing. Is it really possible? It's just simply the mercy of the Lord. It is simply the mercy of the Lord. So in the previous answer, I wanted to tell that particular thing. Mercy of the Lord cannot be forced upon. So mercy of the Lord cannot be forced upon. Mercy of the Lord is the mercy of the Lord. And the devotional things, devotional advancement, cannot come by any... Devotional advancement cannot come by any amount of, like, material pious activities, any amount of material actions. it is not a result of any devotional by material activities. It cannot bring about devotional things. So the chanting of the names of the Lord, it is a special mercy of the Lord. The remembrance of the Lord, it's a special mercy of the Lord. So in Ajamil's case, he had performed sadhana in the before, and he was a very pure Brahmana. He was doing so many wonderful devotional practices, and this is the way the Lord reciprocates. You commit so many sinful actions, but still the Lord thinks that this person has done something sometime. I have to show my mercy towards him. This is the nature of the Lord. The Lord is not thinking that, oh, this guy has committed sin. No, I will punish him. No, he is not looking for that. No, he is thinking that how and where I can find some possibility to give some credits to him and award some good results to him. The Lord is a person who actually thinks that, how can I save this living entity, right? So this is a mercy of the Lord. He enabled like Ajamil to keep the name Narayana to his son, and he enabled him to remember the names of the Lord at the end of his life. It's all mercy of the Lord. It's not possible materially. It's not possible. It's completely not possible what has happened actually, right? So it is simply the grace of the Lord. That is why we are completely dependent on the grace of the Lord in our Krishna conscious practice. You do any circus, you do any amount of practice, if we fail to attract the mercy of the Lord, if we fail to attract the grace of the Lord, everything is a waste. We will not be able to succeed. Remembrance of the Lord is a prerogative. It's a thing that is given by the Lord. It's a gift. It's a treasure that is given by the Lord. We cannot force it from him. We cannot force it by any practice or anything like that. It's not possible. So that is like, it is really possible to chant the holy name of the Lord at the time of death. Yeah, it's a grace of the Lord. And after doing so many sins, for Lord, these sins are nothing in front of him. He is like very grateful to any devotional service that is performed at any time. And Lord shows, and Lord actually reciprocates to that gratitude at the right time. That's the greatness of the Lord. He's not a mundane master who's counting on how many mistakes I've done. He's a master who's counting on, he's a very grateful person. Even one small thing I do, he's a very, very grateful person. He'll never forget that. And as we always think that we should always think of him to attain him. Yeah, we have to think of him. We have to render service to him. Because we are part and parcel of him. Because we are meant to serve him, so we should serve him. So that is our main thing, right? So if Lord takes us back to Godhead, it's okay. If Lord keeps us here, it's okay. But I am a servant. I am a part and parcel of the Lord. I am meant to render service to the Lord, and I have not been doing it. I have to resume doing this service to him, right? That's a very important thing. Okay. So, then foregoing to Goloka, offenseless chanting is important. Yeah. For going to Goloka, offenseless chanting is important. That's a very, very essential thing. As sadhakas, all of us should work on this. Systematically we should work on this. How we can avoid offenses and how we can chant the pure names of Lord. That's a very, very important thing. If we can just do this much. Many times Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was touring, various places, and his preaching methodology is this. He would just request this much. Please don't commit offenses and chant the names of Krishna. All perfection will be yours. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to induce people to do this simple thing, right? And Srila Prabhupada also in many lectures we see that if you want to understand our philosophy, we have many, many books. You can study them. And if you think that it is very difficult for you to study, then just chant this holy name of the Lord offenselessly. Everything will be revealed to you. Everything, like all that you need to know, everything will be revealed to you. That's the power of this chanting. Hare Krishna. Is there any other questions? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, you can put your questions in the chat box.
Okay. So till the time questions come, I just brief what we had done. So we just started off saying that how Ajamil's all the sins are destroyed, and just because the Yamadutas were dispatched much earlier, and they didn't know that this whole effect of the holy name and the power of the holy name and things like that, and they were about to arrest, and the Vishnu Dutas were arguing that no, this is not possible because he's become sinless, because of chanting of the names of the Lord, and he forcibly cut the ropes of the Yamadutas and then released the Ajamil. And this is not possible by any kind of atonement which is mentioned in the scriptures, because the root of the sin is not destroyed. No, still the sin is maintained. No, that is, everything belongs to Krishna, but still I want to enjoy Krishna's property. Right. So that's a very that's a problem actually. No, that's why any atonement with that sin in picture, it's not going to helpful. No, it's not going to be eradicating. But the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, it addresses the root problem. No, my tongue, my body, and everything is used in the service of the Lord. And for what benefit? For no benefit, just simply for glorifying the Lord. Or this just addresses the root of the problem. That my facilities, the faculties that I have, is my facilities awarded to me by the Lord, and I'm using it to glorify the Lord. This is an ultimate atonement. And by doing this, all the sins, once for all, for many, many lifetimes, is washed off, right? So that's the power of the holy name. And we cannot, as that question also is very amazing, like, is it because any past sinful activities he had fallen? So that's because first exposure and then the adat ban gaya usme. So then after that, like the another question was asked, that is also very nice, that it is simply the grace of the Lord that we are able to remember the Lord, and that brought about a very wonderful quality of the Lord's merciful nature, the Lord's nature, that he's not counting on the mistakes that I'm doing, he's counting on the positives that I'm doing, he's counting on pure devotional service that I'm executing at every moment. So that he counts upon. And even if I fall back, even if I happen to commit a lot of sins, he is going to remember this. He's going to remember this, and he's going to remember the good things that I've done, and he's going to save me. He's a master who's going to save me. He's not going to let me down. He's going to save me at any point in time. Right? So that's the greatness of the Lord. Okay. Hare Krishna. Every day I chant and read Bhagavad Gita, but still I'm not satisfied. I want to become more closer to Krishna. This is the thing. If you want to become more closer to Krishna, first thing is that the Krishna is revealed in the form of Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Leela, and we should start chanting. This eagerness is very good, and we should get the taste of the holy name, and that will be possible by avoiding the offenses. And if you are very, very eager, so then you should study the offenses very detailedly. There is a book called Harinam Chintamani, where its glories of the holy name is mentioned, and actual glories of the holy name is mentioned just in one chapter, and rest 10 chapters are dedicated for 10 different offenses, and it is detailedly discussed. That means holy name is so powerful, but if we can just manage to avoid offenses, we will become more and more closer to Krishna, and we will know Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, all these things. The name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna will manifest slowly, gradually, and we will get closer and closer to Krishna, right? So that's the way of getting closer. Please focus on avoiding the offenses. We will get closer to Krishna. That's the only thing that is stopping us and Krishna. Krishna is just there in our heart. We cannot imagine how close to Krishna we are. There is no one who are physical proximity closer. There is no one who is closer to Krishna than us. Krishna is personally present as Paramatma. And only thing that is making that so close proximity as a long distance is this offenses, our offensive attitude towards Krishna. So we should study the offenses, and we should really try to avoid them. And we will see, it's not that we get closer to Krishna. We will just realize that all this while I have been closer to Krishna, but unfortunately, due to my material conditions, I have not been able to understand that how close I was with Krishna. Right? So even now we are closer to Krishna, just that we don't understand that. Okay, I've joined after a long gap, and it's a wonderful session. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. What are the 10 offenses? Okay, we will do a separate session on that. It's a very important thing. One, what is that? summary of offenses I can tell. What are these offenses? The Lord likes his devotees very much. The Lord likes his name very much, and the Lord likes the everything that is connected to him, this world and this his spiritual abode, the holy rivers, and all these things are very, very tightly connected to Krishna. All these things are very tightly connected to Krishna, and anything that is happening to these things, Krishna cannot tolerate. So the offenses are like this 10 offenses are within this summary. Like if we offend a devotee, if we offend a spiritual master, if we offend the holy name, if we these things, and the details of this is these 10 offenses, and there are greater details to them, and we should study, understand, and we should try to avoid them. So overall, the summary of all the offenses is Krishna's dear entities have to be treated as they have to be treated. Krishna is not just Krishna. Krishna means he is completely bound by love and affection with all his dear entities. And if we do anything like to those dear entities of Krishna, Krishna cannot tolerate. And Krishna will remove the potency of the holy name, and we will not be able to chant. We will not be able to get the benefit of the holy name. So that is the most important thing. So we just simply say, oh, I want to get Krishna, I want to attain Krishna, and go behind him and commit offenses. Krishna will not even look at us. No? Krishna will just throw us to the distance, and we will not be able to get him. So if we are really interested in attaining Krishna, then we have to work on the offenses. And that is the only thing which is standing between me and Krishna. Actually, we are very close to each other, but it appears that we are very far. Okay. So with this, now I'll close this session. Like it's a wonderful, even for me, it's a very wonderful revision of these aspects which I personally meditate on my daily sadhana. So it is very, very important for all of us to meditate on these things and then develop intense faith and attachment and taste towards the holy name of the Lord. Right? If we can get a little taste to the holy name, that's really amazing. All of us should strive to get that. Right? So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I can close the session. Thank you.
Okay. So, I request all of you to join the 8 o'clock session for the Damodar program. So, where some kids are presenting the glories of Srila Prabhupada, and then various devotees from our congregation are going to take us through the Vrajamandal Parikrama and then the auspicious Damodar Ashtakam and Aarti, right? So please join in.